Everyone, welcome to the channel. Now over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this dashboard which you see is for credit risk reporting, right? And it is showing the overall information which we usually include in our credit risk reporting, right? So for example, here it is telling you how many active cards are there. Consider this is the credit risk report for credit card. Okay, so here you have all the active credit cards, new open credit cards, outstanding balances, etc., right? If any of the key terms confuses you, feel free to put that into the comment section. I'll be more than happy to explain you that. Overall, this is going to be a kind of beginner level of dashboard or report, right? Except one point which is a little tricky. So for example, if you select any month from this slicer, for example October, look at the line charts. It is always going to show you the last 6 months of data. For example, I selected October 2010, so it is showing me the data starting from May till October. uh, my bad, I selected October 2022 and it is showing me the data starting from May 2022 till October 2022, right? If I select August 2022, then it is showing me the data starting from March 2022 till August 2022. What I mean by this is, for example, why I'm saying that this is a little tricky. For example, you look at this chart, right? This line chart. If I select any of the month, it is going to show me only 1 month, but that was not the same case over here. Here if I select any month, it is giving me the last 6 months of data, which is going to be a little trickier part, which I'll be showing you how you can manage that. I have created a separate video also for this technique, which you can check out using the link given in the description section. But in this video also I'm going to do that, how we can achieve this task, right? All right, so just stay with me and let's try to create this together. My recommendation will be, the link for this data is provided in the description section. Go on there, download that data and start developing the similar dashboard along with me during the video. Okay, that's where you will get the expertise and you will learn a lot. Okay, wherever you get confused, pause the video, watch it again and complete it. Still, if it does not provide you the clarity, put the comment in description, put your comment in the comment section and I'll definitely try to help you out. Okay, so let me take you to a new Power BI window. Over here, all that I have done is only I have imported the data. So here you can see the credit risk data available for credit card. Okay, so what we see is month, card numbers, all these variables which you have over here, and I'll be using these variables during the development. Okay, so first thing I will start with is renaming the data set, right? So if you're someone who is new to Power BI and want to understand how to rename this, just right click on the data set name and over here you will see rename, and I'm going to rename it credit card. During the video we'll be taking reference from the previous dashboard so that we could see exactly what was built over there and we could replicate the same. All right, so first of all we will start with this segment, this cards, right? So we have these cards 1200, 152, whatever numbers you see, which shows number of active cards, number of new cards, etc., right? So let me create that, okay, very quickly. So for that, this is the card which I can choose, and out of this, first information which I need to show is total number of active cards. Okay, so let me just, from here you can just take card numbers, right? And if you choose that, it is showing you this kind of number, which means it is summing it up. What we need to do is we need to change it to count. So all that you need to do is just come back over here and right click and click count. All right, so as soon as you do this, it is showing you 1200. Now for the visualization purpose, I'm going to rename it and say that, active cards. It's absolutely fine if you want to rename it differently, so please do that. And I'm assuming that you are developing it along with me while I'm doing this. Okay, now the next thing which I want to include into it, I'll go on general tab. From the effect, I want to show the visual borders. Right, now this is done. Copy paste this, and over here next thing which we need to show is new cards open. So if you go in data, you will see there is one flag created to identify which card was new or which card was not new. All right, so I'm just going to create a measure for this where I could take total number of new cards. Okay, so for to create any measure, right click on the data set name and just click new measure. Okay, there are multiple ways to create that, and I have been showing this by the time to time, right? So yeah, you can use any of the method. This is what I am going to use. Okay, new cards, that's what I'm going to say, and over here I will say some new card flag. All right, so now I'm going to use this. All right, even if I don't do this, it's still it's going to be fine. We would anyway be able to do this. Now I just did new cards, and for the visualization purpose I'm going to rename it new open cards. All right, now let's just see new cards open. Okay, let me rename it new cards open. That hardly matters, but just for the sake of keeping it same, I'm doing this. Okay, new cards open. All right, which simply says how many cards were opened in a given month or given time frame. All right, 152, 152. Very well. Now let's copy paste and do the another calculation which says outstanding balance. Outstanding balance is nothing but the sum total of bill amount. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to create a measure which I can use further in future also, right? So all that I will do is I'll sum up this build amount. Okay, now let me just do this very quickly. Total build. All right, this is total build amount. Okay, now over here I'm going to say sum build amount. All right, this is done, and the same measure I'm going to use over here. It's a little bit slow, you're gonna bear with me. Okay, so now if it is turning out to be too slow for you, what you can do is you can watch it in 1.5x speed. Okay, so I'm going to use total build amount over here, and what we need to name is outstanding balance, right? So let me just say outstanding balance. Outstanding balance. All right, this is done. Next one is end net receivables. So end net receivables are those. So let me take you to the data over here, and what I'm considering exactly in end net receivables is, so you see over here you have the bucket column. So wherever the buckets value is 1 2 0 1 2 and 3, I need to sum the bill amount, and though that's exactly what will be the end net receivable, right? So let's just create a measure for this again, and over here I'm going to say ENR, that is called ENR in short form. All right, so it's turning out to be a little slow, so you're gonna bear with me, right? Over here I'm going to say ENR, and here I will say calculate sum total, sorry, build amount that I have done, and then what I need to say is bucket in. Now you remember, usually in SQL within a statement we use this operator, right? But in Power BI it's not the same case. Here we need to use the curly bracket. Okay, and over here I'm going to put the name of all of the bucket values, bucket 0, and I'm just going to copy paste this again and again to save the time. Okay, bucket 1, then I'm going to say bucket 2, and then I'm going to say bucket 3. All right, and then close the bracket. So what I'm simply trying to say is sum of the build amount only when the bucket value is either bucket 0 1 2 or 3. All right, this is done. I'm just letting it complete the process. So once you're done with writing the measures statement, right, you just need to hit enter or click on this button. Okay, now after this what I'm going to do is copy paste this, and I'll just replace the value outstanding balance. Instead of outstanding balance I'm going to use ENR. All right, so this is ENR 11 million. It is showing 11 million, and I just need to rename it again. I will say end net receivables, end net Need receivables, RECIVABLES, receivables. All right, this is done. Now two more cards which we need to create. One is for charge off and then charge off count of cards and charge of balances. Okay, so like we created end net receivable, same way we need to look for the charge of data, and that is nothing but wherever the bucket value is 4, right? Wherever the bucket is 4, that is considered to be charge off. That I'm going to consider as charge off, which is the standard practice followed in industry, but that might vary company to company or bank to bank or company to company, right? So let me just do a copy paste, and into this I'll make a change. But before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two measures. One is to take the count of charged off cards, and one is to take the sum of charged off, so sum of outstanding balance on charged off cards. So let's say charged off cards, and over here I'm going to say calculate count card number, sorry, card numbers. I'm going to take the count of card numbers, and over here I would say where bucket equals to bucket 4. All right, this is done, right? And hit enter. Next one which I will create is for balances. So everything will remain same. It's just instead of count I will use sum, and instead of this statement I will be using what else, the build amount. Okay, so now let me just do this, create a new measure, and let's just charged off balance. I'm going to say charged off, oops, charged off balance. All right, charged off balance. All right, and over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to sum, and over here what I'll do is I'll just remove this, instead I will use build amount. All right, this is done, and all that I need to do is just change the columns which has been used to create this particular card. So copy paste, and over here what I'm going to do is I will just change this to charge of cards, so that it could give me the count of charged of cards, and here I'm going to rename it as charged of cards. All right, and the next thing which I need to do is I will just change this to charged of balances. Okay, now I'll just say rename it, and I'll just say charged of balance. All right, this is done, and let me just arrange this all over here. From here I will just put it aside so that I could have some more space, and later on I'll be arranging them all. You will see how to arrange them all together. Okay, now for now let's just keep it as it is. All right, so this is done. Next thing which we need to do, and that is very important, let's, before we move further, let's just compare the number 1200, 152, 55 million, 1200, 152, 55 million, 11 million, 637, 11 million, 637, 44 million, 44 million. That is fine, right? So don't focus a lot on the numbers, because having where we have total outstanding of 55 million, and out of that if we have 44 million as charged off, the bank is absolutely in bankrupt situation. So that's not possible in the real life, right? So because this is absolutely synthetic data, so that's where I would suggest don't to focus a lot on the numbers. Okay, if you're someone who is in credit risk industry, don't focus on this, please. Let's just focus on the techniques of creating the dashboards, okay, and how you can present your KPIs. It's just the matter of numbers, rest of the things are going to be same. Now the next thing which I'm going to do is create this kind of slicer, right? So for that I have reporting month column into this data, right? So here, right here, but I'm not going to use this from this data. Instead I will create another table for date date is itself. And before I proceed further, in this table I have all these columns, this as date value. However, here we are seeing them as whole number. So first of all, I'm going to change them all, right? So how to change that? Just select that column and go in over here and just choose date. Same thing I need to repeat for all of these columns. So if you want, you can just skip the video for this another 1 or 2 minutes, right? 1 minute maybe, and then you can continue. Or better, I'll pause the video till the time I'm converting this. And all right, so here I'm done with converting them all into the date format. Next thing which I need to do is go on home tab and create a new table. To create a new table, what exactly that I need is, I'll quickly show you. I just need to give what is the date that I want to start with and what is the date that I want to end it, right? So for that, I'm going to name this table as date table. All right, so this is called date table, and over here I'm going to use the function calendar. For that, I need to give the start date. So for a start date, I'm going to choose minimum from reporting month, which was available in credit card data. Okay, now for end date, I'm going to use max from the reporting month, right? So this is done. As soon as this is done, the next column which we need to create is year month. Before that, I will just change the data type of this. From date time, I'm going to make it to date only. That does not matter because all the time which I have is as 0. So if you want to keep it same, you can keep it same. New column I need to create over here, and for that I'm going to click on this on columns tool, and I will name this as year month. All right, year month. Oops, sorry, I just hit enter, which I should have to avoid. Okay, and over here what I'm going to do is I'll take date from date table, year, sorry, I needed to take year from this table, and over here I'm going to multiply it by 100 so that it could give me the value something like this, right? Something like this. Now the last 2 digit I need to replace with the month, right? So for that, I'm going to extract month from the date column, and date table, extract month, and add that into this product value. All right, I mean in this value. So it is going to give me 202201 for the month of January, and so on, right? So this is how you can do the conversion. Next thing, I need to create the relationship between both of these two tables based on the date column. So this is my main table, which is credit card, and out of this I need to find reporting month and drag and drop on this date column. So as soon as I do this, it is going to give me a relationship created. Okay, now let's just have a look. If you hover on this, it is clearly showing what are the columns which has been linked. Okay, all right, so we are done with this. Next thing which we need to do is create the slicer. So to create this slicer, what I need to do is create this, and not from this table but from this table, date table, I'm going to take date. All right, and I need to change the view, I mean this is style of the slicer. So I'm going to go on this tab, format your visuals, from over here in the properties, not in the properties exactly, in the visuals itself, slicer setting, and over here I need to choose style. So this is what I got, but over here instead of date, what I need to use is, I would use year month, right? So this is what I got. All right, now I need to just remove this year month from here, right? So from here what I need to do is, I'll go over here, and from the effect, do I have that in the effect? No, I don't think so. Let me just come back over here, and not in border also, selection, slicer, header, right? So just let's just remove that. That is done, that is gone, and I'll just make it smaller. This is done, the slicer is created. Next thing, the most important part, which I showed you, which I was explaining in the very beginning, when you click this, then you are going to get the last 6 month data over here, right? So let me show you that. All right, so to achieve that, what I need to do is I need to create a rolling sum. Okay, so for over here what I'm showing is rolling sum of the values for each of the month, by each of the month, rolling last 6 month sum. Okay, so let's just go ahead and create this. So for that, I'll not directly jump to the line chart. First I will create a matrix over here, right? And to create the matrix, I just click on this matrix, and from this credit card table I'm going to use reporting month from here, and that's something which I got right over here. Next thing which I need to do is I need to have the rolling sum value over here. So for that I would require to create a measure. So from here I'm going to use, oops, rather I should have to say, I just clicked on new column, rather I should have to click on new measure, right? So let's just do it, let it complete. It is Power BI and it's not gonna listen me. Okay, so let's just, I just pressed escape. Now let's just wait till the time it goes away. Okay, so this is gone away. Now click on new measure, and from here I'm going to say rolling balance and rolling count. Those two things I'm going to create over here, right? So let's just say rolling sum. All right, and over here I'm going to use calculate sum build amount, right? And over here I'm going to use dates in period function. Dates in period function, if you want to understand this in detail, I have a separate video. I'm going to give the link in the description section. Just give it a watch. Okay, so over here I'm going to use the date from this date table. Remember, not from the credit card table. Okay, date table, I'm using the date. Then it is saying what date you want to start with. So I'm going to start with the latest date which is available in my data, right? So that is December. Okay, so how do I know that? So I'll take max of date table. In the date table I have over here date. This is done, and then I want to roll it over for last 6 months. Means if I select whatever month I select, I want to see the data for last 6 months till that point of time, right? So I would say -6, that's the number of intervals, and I want to use which type of interval, whether day, month, quarter, year. I want to use month, right? So that is done. As soon as this is done, I'm going to copy this because I would also require to create the same thing for count, right? So I will just hit enter, and after that I'm going to get, you see, you're gonna see what I'm going to get over here. All right, so this is done, and in this chart what I need to do is, in this chart, over here what I'm going to do is, in the values I'm going to use this rolling sum. So I can just drag and drop right over here. All right, so now you can see it is showing me the data starting from July till December. If I select August, so it is going to change. You see over here, this is changing, right? Now it is showing from March till August. So this is how you can create a matrix. Now the next thing which I need to do is I need to convert it into the line chart, right? So just select this and go on over here and click on the line chart. Okay, this is done. Next part which I need to do is I need to use buckets into it, right? So for the buckets, I have buckets created over here. In the legends, I need to put drag and drop the buckets over here. So we're gonna get the buckets. All right, now next thing, I just need to do a little bit of cosmetic changes over here. So what I'll do is I'll remove this title from here, right over here. Just remove the title, and then I need to remove the legend title also. So I'll go in legends, and from here I'm just going to switch off the legend title, and I'm going to change the alignment to top center, and let's make it looking bold, right? Text bold. All right, this is done. So for now it is done. Next thing which I would require to do is, let me just put it over here, and I will also rename this to look good. Rolling sum is not looking good. So what is the name that is given over here? It is saying build amount in last 6 months. All right, so let's just rename it. Let's just say build amount in last 6 months. All right, build amount in last 6 months. Okay, this is done. Now come back over here and into this y-axis. Y-axis. All right, I'll do that editing on the later stage. Now for now I'm just going to set some border, say set the visual border from here, go in general, and from effect you can switch on the visual borders. All right, next measure which I need to create from here is, let me right click on this and I'm just going to use that. Next measure which I'm going to create is to apply the same thing over here, rolling sum. Instead I want to say rolling count, so that it could tell me by a given month how many counts, how many cards were active over there, right? And over here I'm going to take count, and instead of build amount I'm going to use credit card number. Okay, card number, because I'm simply taking the count. Okay, now this is done. Rolling count, I'll copy paste this chart and then we will just replace the columns which we have used in the value. So this is copied, and into this over here I have used, here I have used this. I'm going to remove this and instead I'm going to take rolling count. This is done. Now let's just rename it. What is the name that I need to give? It says count of active cards. Okay, so let's just say count of active cards. Count of active cards. All right, I'll do a little bit of adjustment in this size. So this is looking too wide. I'm just going to make it a little small, not that much. I'm just trying to balance it well over here. Okay, so let's just squeeze it a bit. All right, this is done. Right, next thing which we need to do is, we are showing count of new cards, right? So count of new, for count of new cards, again we needed to create this. Let me just see whether we had taken the rolling count or it was just the normal count. Okay, rolling unique cards, right? So we will create another measure to take the rolling unique cards. I'm going to use the same thing. Instead there's just one thing which I need to change. Let me just see if I have that copied yet. Nope. So here I'm going to say rolling unique cards, and over here again calculate, and I'm going to take some new cards flag, dates in period, and over here I'm going to use date table and max of date table again, and I'm going to, you know, go back by 6 months. All right, this is done. So I will just copy paste this chart again. I'll take a copy of this and paste it over here. Let's just put it right over here. I may require to make it a little small, and over here I don't need to show legends into this chart. Referring to this one, we have only new cards showing over here. Count of, instead of count of active cards, what I'm going to use is, I'm going to use rolling new cards, rolling unique cards. Okay, right, this is done. Yeah, this is done. Okay, super, I think so. Yes, this is done. Now the next one is, next thing which we require to do is use the bar graph over here. All right, let's just do that. Over here I'm going to use bar graph, but what are the items that we want to perform the calculation on? So over here we need to show, if you see over here, it is showing number of cards and outstanding balances, again that we need to keep rolling. So that's something which we have already created, rolling count and rolling sum by buckets. So here it is showing by month. I don't require month. On x-axis I want to show the bucket. This is done, right? It's exactly what we have over here. All right, now the time, we are done with creating these graphs, right? Now the time comes when we need to focus on formatting part. All right, so let me just collapse that, and let's focus on the formatting part. So first of all, I need to focus on this cards, right? So let's just see what is the measurement that we have over here. I'm going to focus on the measurement, and for this in the properties we have 107 by 210. All right, so let me just select all of this. So what you can do is to select all the cards or multiple items, click the first item, press and hold control key from your keyboard, and keep on clicking on all those items which you want to select, and this is all selected. Now go on this in general in properties, and the measurement which we are looking for is 107 by 210. 107, let's just see, 107, and over here 210. All right, 107 210. This is done, and because it is not looking good, so what we need to do is go in over here and just say distribute horizontally. Now these are all arranged. Does it look same size? I don't think so. It is of same size, is it? 107 210, is it also 107 210? 107 210, yes, 107 210, height 210. I just need to make some arrangement over here. It is not looking good. How could this be possible? 107 210, this is 107 210. Oh no. Let me try arranging it manually one by one, and then maybe we can arrange the size all together. Okay. All right, everybody, so somehow I arranged the size manually, right? But this is something currently it might be giving the issue, but this is something you can do it all together, right? Now the next thing which I'm going to do is again take a selection of this and go on over here, and from the properties what I'm going to do is over here in the effect you have visual border. Just expand this, and I'm going to make it rounded corner, which is 13 pixels. 13 pixel rounded corner is going to be sufficient enough for me. Now this is done. Next thing which I need to do is I need to change the theme. So for that, from here I will choose this theme. This is exactly what which has been taken in this one, right? Next thing I would require to do is all right, this is done over here. Now what I'll do, I'll just bring it little down so that I could write the credit risk reporting right over here. So on the home tab you have the text box. Just take it and let's just write credit risk reporting. And if you will check out the font, then the font which has been used in the previous tab is Arial black, and the font size is 60, and center alignment, this is it. Next thing which I need to do is just expand this, and over here I will make this box as transparent, and from here to do that in the properties I need to go and look for the background. In effect over here I would enable the visual border, and that I will put in the white color, the visual border that you'll see in a, I'll put shadow on, and there must be background, and background I'm going to keep transparent. All right, now the font color I need to change it to white. From here I'm going to make it white. All right, and let's make it bold. Done. This is done. And the next part which you are noticing correctly is the corner of this particular box, right? So let me just again go back to this. I'm sorry, let me just select this again. That's a bit of problem with text box. Again and again it goes into the edit mode, which we don't really require every time. Okay, now over here in the effect, I'm going to go in the visual border, and over here I'm going to make it 13 pixel. All right, this is done. 13 pixel rounded corner, and I just need to make a little bit of adjustment in this. That's gonna be squeezing a bit from right hand side. All right, and then let's just bring it a little down. Over here it is done. Now the next part which comes is changing the color of each of this card. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out the color code for each of these and copy paste over there. So I just select this card, go in general, and forget about the properties. In the effect, in the background group, I will go in more colors and copy this code, copy from here, come back in this visualization, select this, and over here again general and effects, background, more colors, and over here I'm going to paste that, right, and it is going to give me the color of that particular card matching to the same one. Next thing which I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the same thing for all of this card till the time I'll pause the video. All right, I'm done, guys. Right, so now you remember I was struggling to adjust the size of each of these boxes. The reason is here, if you notice, I have 7 cards, while in this one I have 6 cards only, because I have repeated end and end receivables over here twice, right? So that I'm going to delete, and once again for the last time I'm going to select all of these cards, and I'm going to make the same dimension as this. What was the dimension for this? If you remember, 107 and 210, 107 and 210. So I'm going to go into here 107, and over here 210, 210. All right, this is done. Now to arrange this, quickly go in format, under alignment, just click on distribute horizontally. All right, this is done, isn't it? This is done, but it's just that it is not distributed equally, I guess. Let me just try it once again. Distribute horizontally. Now this is done. Yeah, you see this is all adjusted. Now a little bit of changes which I require to make is charge of cards, charge of balance are written in white color. So let me just select this, go on this, and into this, from here I need to choose white color, and size I need to make is 15. All right, so that is hiding under this, right? So let me see if I can do some bit of adjustment. What is the font size that I have over here to match it exactly how it is? It is 15. Why it is going down then? 210. 210 is all right. So to keep it simple, what I'll do is I'll make it a little smaller font size. Okay, it is still bigger. 15, I needed to keep 15. And what I can do is height. Let me see what is the height that I have. General properties 107, and over here what is the height that I have? General properties 107 to 10. It's absolutely the same one. Well, must be less than. Okay, what I can do is font size. Let me see if it is 40, and what is that I've got for this one? 45. Okay, so you see this 44 million which is written, that is size 40, and what I have is 45, right? So let me make it uniform for all. All right, and from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 40. All right, now you see it is perfectly fine. Okay, now next thing which I need to do is I need to add the shadow into it. So for that, general effects, and here shadow is added. This is done. Next part which we have is, I think these cards are not looking in sync, means those are not aligned perfectly. So I have selected it again. I'll go for on format tab, in the align group I'm going to say align middle. Okay, now this must be aligned perfectly. Next thing which I need to do is just make little bit of formatting adjustment for this slicer. Okay, so again selected, and in the general, in the effect, in the background, I'm going to make it transparent absolutely. All right, and I require to give some visual border, and that is in white color. That's also done. Next thing which I need to do is these boxes which you are seeing, slicer boxes, that has to be purple right over here. So I'm going to select this, and from here I'm going to see slicer setting, and over here in the values background column is there, and from here I'm going to choose this color code. Okay, now let's just come back over here, and into this I will first make it rounded corner effect, and visual border, that is 13 pixel. Let me make it 13 pixel round. That is done. And again come back to the visuals and slicer setting, I guess. No, not slicer setting, but the values, right? In the background over here, right over here, I need to put this code. Done. This is done. And then for text I need to make it bold and 11 font size. I think this is what it is over here as well, 11 font size. Okay, that's done. Now comes this one, so I need to make it transparent again. Come back over here, and from general tab, effect, background, I'm going to make it transparent. Okay, next thing is I need to change the font color for the values whatever it is showing over here. So just come back over here in the legends, also in the legends, go back to the text. From here I'm going to make it white, so the legends are white now. And then on x-axis also I'm going to make it white and bold, because this is how it is over there. And over here title also, x-axis title, that is also needs to be in white and bold. Done. Then comes the time for y-axis. In the y-axis also I'm going to make title white and bold. For values as well, white and bold, right? This is done. And one thing, if you see this rolling count column is not visible over here properly, so what I'm going to do is, here you would see one option for columns as well, right? So let me just see where, here columns, right? So this color is not visible, so I will just change it to this color, yellow, right? Now it is perfectly visible. I will, to match it, now if you see over here it is saying number of active cards and outstanding balance, so that's what I'm going to match over here as well. So I'll come back over here and I'm going to rename it, let's say number of active cards, and then over here I'm going to say outstanding balance. Done. You see, this is perfectly how it is looking over here, except one part which is adding the shadows. General, effect, go in shadows and switch on the shadows. You got it, right? Now all that you need to do, all that you need to do is apply the same formatting on all of these three charts, or on all of the remaining three charts, right? But don't worry, you don't need to do this one by one. There is a shortcut. Just select this on home tab, click on format painter, right? And just click on this. So this is done. Little bit of change which I need to make is the line color, it is in purple, I need to change that into white, right? So over here I have line, and from here I must have color option, and from here I'm going to choose it white. And the last thing which I need to add for this particular one is data labels, right? Data labels are those black color. Let me just see values. I need to make it white. Yeah, now you can see the numbers reflecting over here. Same thing I needed to add into this as well. Data labels I had forgotten to add, pardon for that. Data labels, switch it on, and from the option I need to make it white. Done. So, and decimal places also, if you see in this original one, we have two decimal places. So over here again in the formatting part, I'm going to go back in data labels, and from here I'm going to go in values, and there must be decimal place. So two decimal place. Okay, this is done. Now I'm going to copy this format again, copy from here and put it on this, right? This is perfectly fine. Again, copy it from here and put it on this. All right, so I think we are almost done. Just a bit of adjustment. I just need to make its width little small so that I could see the white border. All right, now this is over here, and again I will go in effects, not in effects, in properties, and little bit of adjustment. Okay, yeah, now this is perfectly how you had this particular one, right? Now it is exact replica of that. Now if you have seen this video cross this, if you're watching this video till this time, I'm damn sure you are the dedicated one, right? And you are definitely going to make it. If you find any difference from the original dashboard which we have over here, just let me know into the comment section. Let me know into the comment section how was your experience. If you struggle somewhere, put that into the comment section. I'll help you out on that. Until then, happy learning. Wish you very all the best.